Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and thank you guys because last week on Thursday we hit the first major channel milestone, and that's 100 subscribers. So thank you guys for hitting that subscribe button now over 100 times. Could not have done it without you guys. Also, huge shout out to my buddy for making a new profile picture to mark the occasion. He didn't have to, but he took his time to do so, and let's be honest, my last one kind of sucked. The next goal is 500 subscribers, and I would be absolutely ecstatic if we could hit that by the end of the year. That's my goal. 10.5 months might be a little bit of a stretch, but that's up to you guys to decide. So if you guys like the content, maybe consider subscribing down below. And if you guys absolutely hate my content, subscribe down below, turn on the bell so you'll get notified when a new video is coming out. That way you can avoid them. But with all that celebration out of the way, I've had a chance to look up and down the car, and I realized there is a lot of work to do here. And we're only 5.5, 6 weeks away from the first event. So there's a lot of work that needs to get done in a very short amount of time. I didn't realize how much was catching up on me, and my Yukon still doesn't have a working transmission. So this is going to be a little bit harder to get to the racetrack now, if I can't fix that in time, as well as get this done. But that means we need to get some work done. Now before we get too far into this, I actually have one last shout out I need to make, and that is to a subscriber of mine, because in the comments section on my removing windows video, he posed the question about removing the airbag module, the brain here, and I wasn't sure if it would work, and he went ahead and removed it and let me know that it actually cleared the airbag light on his car, no problem. His channel name is actually Michael Blacktree. I guess I can't call this a shout out as it's 3 times the size of my channel, but check out his content. He does E46 stuff on sedans, so if you have any questions that may revolve around the rear part of the car, he'd probably be a better source for that than me if you have a sedan and not a coupe like I do. So huge shout out to you, Michael, and hopefully it works the same in the M3 when I remove this and I don't have any issues. Something that should have been done a long time ago before we rip that out though, is I want to get this boot off, which is just a little zip tie right there. I'm not putting the interior back in, so I don't need a boot. So easy. Just like that. Now the brain here just so happens to be 3 10mm bolts and a big old plug that we'll take out in a minute. There's also grounding wires on this back one over here on the driver's side. I think that they're relevant just to this. If I'm wrong, I'll find out when I turn the car back on. So we're gonna disconnect those and not worry about it. But like I said, just 3 10s. All right, and with the screws removed, just take it out, and this is the clip I'm talking about on the back. You can usually tell it's an airbag clip anywhere in the car. If it's a yellow clip, it's most likely an airbag clip. So do keep in mind, if you're not gutting your car like me and you're not taking these things out, make sure that if a yellow clip is unplugged, the car does not turn on. Disconnect the battery whenever working with airbags. I've already done that. I haven't reconnected it since I took out the dashboard. And that is probably going to solve a lot of headaches. Now to stick with the airbag trend, one of the big things that needs to come out in this video is the curtain airbags. Both sides still need to come out because you had to get behind the dash to get them out. But, so I'm not stomping on things that are valuable or delicate. I'm going to go ahead and remove this guy and the styrofoam, which you can find on both sides of the car, first, just so that I have a free area for my feet to be. Thankfully they're both pretty simplistic, with this guy only having a clip there and wire attached to it there. And this actually being free, which it'll just be a little bit easier to take out when this is out, so we'll go ahead and start with that guy. All that stuff out. Finally, a clean floor I can step in, and one thing I did notice, there is broken glass, and this is on the passenger side, but that doesn't really matter. I've just got some glass I need to pick up, so whatever. But let's go ahead and jump over there into those curtain airbags. I don't actually fully know how they come off. There's these little, let me just show you. So there's the end of the curtain airbag, and then we have a strap here, and it's a Torx bit. But the ones I don't know are these guys right here. These right here are where the trim piece, the A-pillar trim piece screws into when you take that out. The black one here, it's loose. There's nothing behind that. That's free. But these ones are held in somehow. So I gotta figure out how those two come out, and then the rest of it should just be Torx to remove it. Let's try and figure out how to get these out first. Okay, I know I'm immediately jumping to this after having just said that I don't know how to take this out. And I have figured out how to take it out. As you can see, I've taken out this one down here. If I'm going to be taking out the last one that's holding it here, we've got to remove a few things. This is a T30 Torx. That's going to come out. But we got these clips, so we'll take the clips out first for all the wires. Okay, with all those clips undone, I'm going to take out this wire here that runs along the head. Okay, and then there's this plug right here, and this is the one I was originally addressing, that goes to this guy right here, to the weather strip. I do believe it's like a crush sensor for the window. When it comes up, it can detect if something's pressing on it. I'm not actually sure. That's the only thing I can think logically would want to go into this. Next step is to come over here to this plastic. So, just like this one. And it's actually going to be something you just pull out. So you want to get good grip on there. And then you just pull it out. And it just slots into these little holes right here. That's where they go. So that's how those come out. And now we've just got to get the rest of it out. Now with the curtain airbags out of the way, there's actually brackets. There's a bracket there, there's a black one that you can see. That's for the grab handle, but the curtain airbag was also running along that. And then there's one right there. That's for the rear hook on the headliner. Since those are no longer needed, they're just a series of 8mm bolts on them. I think that one's got 6 8mm and that one's got 3 8mm. So I'm just going to go ahead and take out those on both sides before jumping into any of the other stuff. Because I have the half cage installed, this is a little bit more difficult to see, but you have 2 bolts there, 1 bolt there. There's one over here that you can't see on this camera, and then there's the one over here, and that's the case with both of them. Something I didn't realize, it comes in 2 parts. There's the one that's right here. That comes out, and then there's that one right there, so 2 parts. Now I've gotten rid of all the airbags, and I've gotten rid of the brain. There's still one little remnants of the airbags that I want gone. Now hopefully you can see this here, but there is a shock sensor right there, and this is under where the passenger seat sits, so that's the front of the floor area, rail where it mounts right there, and then your little shock sensor. There's also one over there on the driver's side of the car that also needs to come out. So both those are the last remaining aspects of airbags in this car. It is just a couple T20 Torx heads to take them out. It may only be a couple ounces, but it's a couple ounces I want out of the car. Now with everything airbag related taken out of the car for the most part, there's only one thing I want to do in today's video that's left, and I want to try and take care of this wire mess here, because some of these wires were disconnected, so I want to organize that. I am going to organize the wires a lot more later, because there are wires that I may be removing from the rear and moving up to the front, but we don't know yet. So I'm going to start by just organizing this center console area here of wires, and then when we get the other stuff done, we'll deal with it. Now I am going to start by taking what I know is here, such as, for example, these are for the radio. Not going to need to worry about those, but these right here being AC controls, I'm going to go ahead and organize this stuff first. I'm going to remove my parking brake sensor wire here, because the car no longer needs to know when the parking brake is engaged. It's irrelevant to me, so I'm going to unwire that. That's all going to get moved forward as well, including this guy. It's going to find a new mount on the dashboard elsewhere. And then that also does mean the few wires that I have over on this side of the center console as well are going to be moving forward to get them out of the way of here, because I just want to clean this up, make it look pretty. All tidied up and looking good. A lot more clean now with all those wires moved up there. I did leave a few wires like those ones for the windows just in case I reattach that switch, which I don't think I will. Then I have the one for the button panel that also disables my traction control, as well as my AC ones right there. So all those kind of had to stay around so that I could still utilize them, but everything else got tucked. I did remove one cable altogether. This is, I believe it's an airflow sensor. That's what some people have said. I haven't bothered looking up the parts number, but it's not necessary. Did go up into the dash, up by the AC vent, up by the windshield, but little connector on the bottom. So that's been completely removed from the car. I don't need it. It's not really going to save me a ton of weight, but it's less mess. But guys, I think that more or less wraps up today's video. It was a more basic video. I only did a few small things. Got rid of some major things, such as my curtain airbags here, so both of those being gone now. I'm going to go ahead and weigh all of the stuff. I don't know what the answer is yet, but you guys do, because it's over there in that corner, just appearing for you guys. That's how much weight I saved in this video. I don't expect it to be a ton. There are a few things still to remove from the car. I still have to get the amp out. I'm going to remove the antenna amp as well, and I believe it is the heating coils on the back window are no longer needed. I do need to start getting it reassembled as quickly as possible, so we're going to try and get that done as quick as possible. Once again though guys, thank you so much for helping me hit that 100 subscriber milestone. That means a lot to me that you guys want to see my content. Like I said, I would love to hit 500 by the end of the year. We'll see if that's possible. I don't know, but if you guys like the content, go ahead and subscribe. Also give it a like and maybe a comment. That helps out the algorithm as well. And like always guys, I'll see you in the next video.